it going? Let's see here. See if I'm live over here. There we go. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Oh, there I am. Perfect. I'm able to see me. Okay, you guys. Oh, I've got my bell maker. So, happy Friday Eve, friends. Happy Friday Eve. Wait for people to come on. Sorry, you know, like you don't realize you're thirsty until you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. So how's everybody doing? So you guys, we're going to do something a little different today. Ooh. If you guys saw earlier, Sarah was live earlier. And she did a couple door hangers and stuff. And I did not have a chance to go over there today because I was up to my eyeballs in geraniums. Y'all friends. Geraniums are the thing apparently right now. So, I'm going to do bows. Now, I always get a lot of questions about bows, so I'm like, I'm just going to do bows. And you guys, all the ribbons that I'm going to be using tonight are available. They're in stock at the Wreath shop. So, I'm going to do a couple Halloween, some fall bows. So, I just wanted to come on here and do that for you guys. So, when you guys come on, if you could say hello, I would greatly appreciate it. That way I know you guys can hear me okay. Go ahead and... Okay, more of you guys are hopping on. Fantastic. So have you guys ever had bow questions? Today's the day. Today's the day to ask me bow questions. Okay, and I'm just going to put a link here to the Wreath shop. Hey, Barb. Okay, here we go. And you guys, all I've done is just a link to the Wreath shop, you guys. If you click there, it'll take you over to the Wreath shop. So all these ribbons that I'm going to be using today, hey Tracy, for the bows are going to be, they're all available at the Wreath shop, okay? So we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys. So this is the first one that I'm going to be doing. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing a fall. Okay. And then we're going to be using a 4-inch. Okay. So we got some pretty bows coming up. So if you guys have any questions about bows, today is the day to ask them, okay, you guys? Hold on, I just realized I didn't share something. Sorry, you guys. Just realized this was not up there. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys. So, first of all, our bow maker. You guys know I use my bow maker. Let's grab some zip ties. I'll probably use these for all of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. That's the other one. Okay, you guys. So, if anybody's ever had it, everybody wants to pick my brain. Okay, so here's the first one we're going to be doing. So, this one here, this orange one, this is a new ribbon that the Wreath shop just got in. She has them in 2.5. Hey, Carrie Young. How are you? So this ribbon, you guys, so Sarah Teresa, she just, hey Teresa, we're doing bows. So this is super pretty. If you notice the dots, they're actually raised and they're glitter. She has this in stock. She has this in the 2.5 and the 1.5. We're going to be using the 2.5 for this bow. Okay. Shoo. So yeah, if you guys hop on and you say hello and I don't say hello back, comments don't always show up. So just say it again. Just like when it shows up. Okay, first bow we're going to do. We're going to start off here with, let's do a 12-inch tail, okay? Doing good. Very good. I was telling everybody I was up to my eyeballs in geraniums earlier. Okay, so our tail is going to be 14 inches. Our first loop here, we're going to do it at 6.5, okay? And we're going to start off with 2 loops on each side of this. Okay? So this is our first layer. So if you guys have seen me do bows, I do all kinds of bows. So you never know what's going to happen. Okay? So we're doing this one 6.5. 2 on each side. I like to spread my tails as I go. And if you guys see a ribbon that I am using here and you like it and you want to know the number, just ask me. I'll tell you. Okay? Then we're going to come down and we're going to match our tails here. This is a super pretty one. I actually bought both the 2.5 and the 1.5 on this one because I just loved it so much. Next, we're going to come in with this striped black and white because it is Halloween and you got to add black and white in there. So we're going to come in and we're going to bring this down and it's going to be about 1/2 inch. Okay, so they go staggered about 1/2 inch each. So we did this one at 6.5. We're going to do this one at 6. And on this one, we are going to do 1 of each. 1 on each side, okay? Like I said, today's the day. If you guys want to pick my brain about something, hey Stella, hey Karen. We're dovetailing. I love a lot of the traditional colors for Halloween. I'm a big orange, black, and white fan, so I tend to do a lot of these. Now this is a solid black. It's the faux burlap. Now we're going to come down here and once again stagger it about 1/2 inch. So we started off at 14, 13.5, and now 13. And our loops here, 6.5, 6, and now we're going to go with 5.5. And it's going to be 2 on each side, you guys. If you guys do not make bows, you really should. Or if you have an Etsy shop, you definitely should be putting bows in your Etsy shop. I sell tons of bows every year. Once again, we're going to bring this down. So you see why I stagger it? Because now you can see everything, right? You can see the orange and black. You can see the black and white, the black. And don't be afraid to mix patterns, you guys. And then this is a 5/8, super, super pretty. Yes, I dovetail my 5/8. I dovetail all my ribbon, you guys. 5/8, 7/8, doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm going to come down here. Once again, I'm going to stagger that a little bit. And on this one, we are going to be doing a 5. I'm going to do one on each side, one loop on each side. Okay. And then I'm going to come back with my black and white, and all I want is one, I call it a bump, okay? So one loop in the center. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my tail at about 5 inches. This little bump here is about 3 inches. And then we're going to cut it about there, which is about 8 inches. So if I'm just doing a bump, I tend to make that tail shorter. Okay. When you are doing bows, if you are using a bow maker, use one hand to lift it slightly. Put a finger on one side and thumb on the other, and fingers on each side underneath, okay? Make sure you squeeze really good and you're holding on to this. Do not, hey Kathy Mitchell, do not lift this up until you make sure you have a very good grip, because if you don't, all your little loops are going to fall out of place and you're going to be mad. Okay, so once we got that, lift straight up. Now, by doing your fingers like that, you've already created a little channel. You don't have to move your fingers anymore. Now you're going to take your zip tie. I use zip ties. If you use a pipe cleaner, that is fine. Hey, girl. Please show us how you pack the bows you sell separately. Well, I ship them. It depends on the size of the bow. But if they're small bows, I use 10 by 10 by 4 boxes to ship those. I don't like using the whole separate box to pack in. Yeah, I ship them out in individual little boxes. And those are for the small bow, so it just depends what size bow you're doing. I don't have a box out here to do that right now, dear. But make sure you tie them into your boxes, though. Super important, just like your wreaths. Okay, you guys. So I always move my tails down. Okay. And then I will set this down. Boxes, usually Amazon. Unless I'm going to buy a very big quantity, and or unless Uline is having a free shipping. But otherwise, it is Amazon. Amazon or Uline. Okay. Now I'm going to flip this over. Start off at the bottom. Spread our loops. If you have Prime and you get the free shipping, you really can't beat it. That's just the truth. Okay, then I give us one last little tug. How long is my first tail? 14 inches. Okay, now this is it there, but it's flat, so I'm going to come in, put your hand in. Let's look at that. So if you want your tails to look nice, put your finger behind the tail, okay, and just do that. It gives it that nice little curve, okay? There's our bow. Thanks, Teresa. Yeah, see how pretty that is? But see why I do the tails staggered, right? The tails, you can see all the tails and the loops as well. You can see your orange, your black and white, your solid black, your 7/8, and then loop in the center, okay? So this would look perfect on a wreath, okay? You could put this on a grapevine. But yeah. Okay. There is our first one, you guys. Once again, all these ribbons that I'm using here are at the Wreath shop, okay? Another thing I'm going to tell you is I use little pins for my thanks Diane, thanks Karen, for my ribbon. It doesn't damage the ribbon. I've never had it damage a ribbon. That way your ribbon does not roll all over the place. So y'all know, if you drop one of these rolls, it is going to run away from you and you're going to be chasing it till the whole thing is almost undone. Hey Tracy Bradley. How are you? So, I'm going to do this now so that I don't regret it later. Okay, let's do this pink and black. Okay? Black and white. So this is a 2.5 inch, 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch, and what is it, 7/8? 5/8. 5/8 glitter. Black glitter. Okay? Once again, thank you, Barb. So let's see. If you guys see that some of these open, it's because obviously I've been using them, but they are all available at the Wreath shop, okay? Okay, so we did that type of bow. What type of bow do I want to make next? Okay, let's start off here. So this is directional ribbon. So that right there that's going to dictate how I'm going to do this bow. Now, you can make your bow in a lot of different ways, but directional ribbon sometimes, right? Directional meaning that the skull, like these skulls on here, they're all in one direction, okay? So whenever I make a bow using ribbon like this, I want to make sure they're not upside down, okay? Yeah, pink and black, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start off with, hold on first. Let me move it so you can see it all the way. What the heck? Okay, so we're going to start off with a 7-inch tail at the top. Okay. Then we are going to make our first loop 6.5. And then we're going to squish that down, and our tail is just going to come down. So we're going to do this at let's call it there. Which is, I'll measure it, but it's probably 14. 14 exactly. Woohoo! It's like anything else, okay? Once you've been doing ribbons for a while, you can eyeball it. That was pretty good, though. I priced myself. Okay, now we're going to come in with this is black and white. This is also a new one at the Wreath shop. So we're going to come in here, 1/2 inch staggered down. And remember, we start our first one at 6.5. So our next loop is going to be a 6. Okay, once again, about 1/2 inch. Same thing at the bottom, about 1/2 inch. Remember, you want to be able to see all your ribbons. No point in having pretty ribbons if you can't see them all. So this has all the colors, the pink, the hot pink, the black, the white. Once again, 1/2 inch, twist, and this one's going to be 5.5. So once again, 6.5, 6, 5.5. The other thing, you guys, when you guys are making bows, it does not have to be exact. Okay, if it's like slightly, off, it's fine. Okay. I will totally tell you that when I make bows for you guys, or I make wreaths on here, I am measuring, right, to tell you guys. If I am just filling an order, I usually don't measure. That's just totally being truthful. I really don't. Okay, now we're going to use this really pretty 5/8 black glitter. I love the 5/8 and 7/8, you guys. These are fantastic. Okay, so we're going to come in 1/2 inch staggered down. So we did this, remember, 5.5. So this one's going to be a 5. Okay, 5. Bring this tail down. About 1/2 inch. Now, I want my skull in the center, you guys. So we are going to dovetail. Yes, you can put 2.5 inch ribbon on top of 7/8, 5/8, 1.5. Does not matter, okay? It will look cute. So I'm gonna make that tail at about 5 inches. Gonna give it a little twist. Okay, we're going to make a bump here that's going to be about 3 inches. Oh, I did not twist that all the way. Okay, if you guys want, trick. So, if you are putting this ribbon in, always make sure that when you do this twist, that you twist it all the way, meaning that when you're looking at this part here, all you're looking is at the inside. If you're looking at this part here, you're only seeing the top of the ribbon, okay? Because if you don't do that twist all the way, it's going to make your bow bumpy. It's not going to look cute. So if you want your bow to kind of come out, right? Because you always look, oh, hey, the bows are puffy. That is one of the single most important things you can do, okay? So I redid that because my little bump there, my ribbon was not turned over all the way. And that would have made it look a little funky. And I'll also tell you that with directional ribbon, I try to cut it so one of the designs, I don't want to cut the skull in half. And that's just a personal preference. But I like it if I'm doing that as a center for you to be able to see it. Okay. So we're going to set that aside. Once again, we're going to lift this up slightly with our other hand. Pointer finger on one side, thumb on the other. Fingers underneath. Squeeze. Going to bring our zip tie. Push that through. We're going to adjust our tails. and our loops. Okay. And I'm going to come back here to the back, get my needle nose, give that another little tug there. Give it a trim. Now here's our bow. Look how cute that is. And once again, I've put, if you see the skulls, they're all facing the right direction. If you look at the tails on the bottom, right direction. Same thing on that bottom one. See that? Super pretty. So here's our pink and black. At the end, I'll show you them all again. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Okay, once again, good habits, good habits. Put our pins back in. Remember, if you guys have any questions about bows, please feel free. If you guys saw earlier, Sarah went and she did a bow. She did a pineapple and a star grapevine wreath form, and put a bow on there. Put a couple bows. There's spray, super cute. Okay. And also, if you guys would like a number on any of these ribbons, let me know. They all of them are available at the Wreath shop. Okay, you guys. Let's do a fall. Okay. I told you guys, I love patterns. I'm a big fan of patterns. This is rust. So this one may look solid. It is, well, it is in color, but it's one of the embossed in rust. Super pretty. This is new, and I had to get this, and I love the fact that the edge on this is like a moss color. But look how pretty that is. So that is gorgeous. Yes, they are awesome. Okay, so we're going to start off with this. It's a moss and cream. Okay. So let's go. We're going to do a 14-inch tail. Okay. Once again, 14-inch. I like long tails. If I'm going to do a bow for a smaller, I'll do a shorter tail. But for the most part, I do like my longer tails. Okay, we're going to make this 6.5. Hey guys, so if you guys are not following the page here, the Wreath shop, make sure you do that so that way you guys know when I come on. Once again, 6.5, and I'm going to do 2 of these, 2 on each side. So make sure you're following the page here. Also, make sure you guys go over, if you guys do not know who I am, my name is Sonia Thompson. I'm the owner of the Red Rustic Rose, and I actually collab with the Wreath shop, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. Once again, 6.5 here. And you guys, I do have my own Facebook page, so make sure you go over there and give it a follow. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, I also like, I like separating my loops as I go. kind of positioning them, right? Okay, so we're going to come right back down here. And we're going to dovetail. Ooh, that is a wire. Cut the wire. Now we're going to come in with this beautiful rust. This is one of those ribbons that I love how these look. Just the embossed look is so cute. Okay, once again, we're going to stagger it 1/2 inch. Remember, I like staggered, that way you can see all your ribbons. So this one was 6 1/2, so we're going to do this one at 6. Doing 1, coming down here, the most difficult part for me is taking it out of there and keeping it all in a perfect stack. Ileana, oh girl, watch how I do it. That is really one of the most important things, is because you want to make sure that, you know, that's it. You lose that stack and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Okay, you guys, so this is directional ribbon, okay? So if I do it like that, and this is gonna, okay. So we're gonna do a little something, something. Watch and learn a little trick. The 3-inch bump. Oh! Well, I'll show you. Okay, so this is directional ribbon. So I don't want to cut a million pieces, right? But I still wanted to keep its direction. So here's what I'm going to do. So I start off at the tail first down here, stagger it 1/2 inch. The 3-inch bump, that one is, you just have to make sure you twist it really well to keep it in place. Okay, 1/2 inch. And then we are going, so this is 6, so this is going to be 5 1/2. I'm going to have to do one on each side. Okay, 5 1/2. Okay. So we've got a loop on each side. Actually, I cut it a little bit longer. Then what I'm going to do, because remember, this is directional ribbon, I want to make sure that my tails at the bottom are in the right direction. So what I do is I crinkle it there. That way you know where that's going to go in the center. I will take this out, and I will cut it right there. Then I will put that back in. No. The lengths that I go to make sure I have directional ribbon. Okay. So we've got a tail and 1 loop on each side, right? Okay. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Stagger about 1/2 inch. Bring this in here. Give it a twist. Okay. Once again, really important to make sure you do that nice twist. Match this up to this one. Not too much. And then do the other side. Okay, once again, crinkle that little end, that center there, to make sure you know where it's at. Bring this out of here and cut it about half an inch. Going to put that back in there. I'm going to show you guys at the end. Now our ribbon will be directional. Those pumpkins are not going to be upside down. Not on my watch, guys. Not on my watch. Okay. Now we're going to come in with our solid here. I think this is enough. I have a whole nother roll, but I think this may be enough. So we're going to, once again, about half an inch staggered. Is it enough? Okay. So we can do, let's see, how long is that? Yeah, I think so. So we're going to do this loop, I think for, hold on. If you're not sure if something is going to work, you can always, oh, okay. It appears to be perfectly the perfect size. So we're going to do this loop 4 inches. 4 inches on this side. Okay. Bring this down. And that is about as perfect as it gets. It just worked out that way, guys. I was hoping the ribbon gods were on my side. Okay, now, when you lift this out of here, right, Eliana, you were saying? Oh, I love the way you teach, explain everything. Oh, thank you. Okay, take this hand, lift slightly, okay? You're going to put your pointer finger on one side, your thumb on the other, and then underneath, you're going to have fingers on each side, okay? Each side of those pegs. Do not lift this out of here until you have a nice grip, okay? Did I just pour something? Hold on. No. Okay, sorry. Thought I did something. I was like, no! Because remember, I did cut those ones. So you do, when you make cuts like this, you do have to be careful, okay? So just be gentle. Okay, so nice squeeze. We've got it. We've got it. Take it out. Oh, yeah, that one is right there. I'm like, what was that doing? Okay, so because you put your fingers apart, you don't have to move them again. You've created that natural channel right there, that space for either your zip tie or your pipe cleaner, okay? That's the trick on making sure that you don't lose that stack. Okay, so you've got that there. Then before I tighten that all the way, oh dang it, I was going to use the brown one. It's fine, totally fine. Okay, I'm going to put that zip tie through. Okay, now we're going to move our tails. I like to adjust my tails before I do the loops, okay? Okay. Now remember, we have to be gentle with the pumpkin one because we made some cuts. So we're going to go to we start at the bottom. Spread our rust. Now our pumpkin, remember, gentle because we did make those cuts. You just want to make sure they're separated so you can see them. And now our moss one is right there. We're going to flip that over. Position our tails that way. First loop. Middle loop. Next loop. Now here. Okay. Now we're going to come back in here. We're going to, and this is, especially when I make cuts like that, I want to make sure that this zip tie in the back is going to be snug. I'm going to use, right? I'm going to pull on this. Don't have to be that dramatic. But yeah. I want to make sure that is how long the zip ties you attach to the back. These ones are, how long are those? 12? 12. It depends on the project that I'm doing, what I'm putting it on. Okay? But usually I like to go with 12. If I'm going to put this on a grapevine, definitely 12. Okay, so nice, snug. That way, those ribbons where I cut, they're not going to come out. Okay? Of course. So as long as you, and this is part of the reason I like using zip ties, is that way I'm not going to worry that that's going to come out. And that's also why I make that cut at about 1/2 inch. Now, I'll show you some. So see how you can see that there? That's that little fabric. If you use a zip tie and you tighten that sucker enough, you can then spread that there. And I will tell you that I use, instead of the scissors, I literally use this because it's thick, right? Okay, we put that back. And that's just so that you can't see it. That's just, if you can see it, then I tend to cut it. If I can't see it, then I'm not going to worry about it. Because I don't think a person that is buying your bow, or, you know, you put it on a grapevine, I don't think they're going to go digging. Okay? But if you use the cutters, it's a lot easier. Okay? And don't worry, this is why you got to make sure you use good wired ribbon. Because even though I just, you know, mistreated this a little bit, it's going to be fine. Okay. So now we're coming in. Teresa, I'm still here, girl. It ain't a replay. I'm live. Once again, your tails, put your fingers like that. And we're just going through. Let's see that? So you can see striped, embossed, pumpkins. You're here, girl. You're here. I'm live. So there you go. And if you see, look at the tails on the pumpkins. Pumpkins are not upside down. Okay? So that's a pretty fall bow. Okay. 3 down. Now we're gonna play with some 4-inch ribbon. I know sometimes people get scared of the 4-inch ribbon. Hey, Sharon. Love. Great buys. Yeah, she usually has really good buys. So, Teresa, my name is Sonia Thompson. I'm actually not the owner of the Wreath Shop. I collab with the Wreath Shop Tuesdays and Thursdays. The owner of the Wreath Shop is Sarah. But, yeah, if you want to go follow my page, the Red Rustic Rose, I would really appreciate it. But you know what? I do help her go shopping for ribbons, so. We're actually going to go shopping for ribbon and stuff and greenery on in June next month, or in a couple weeks actually. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now let's play around with some 4-inch ribbon, because I get a lot of questions about 4-inch ribbon. People are scared of 4-inch ribbon. Don't be scared. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay. Don't be scared of 4-inch ribbon. 4-inch ribbon is your friend. Okay. So we are going to, this is going to be a little bit of a bigger bow. So, actually, hold on, you guys. Well, this is going to be a little bit bigger, so hold on. I'm going to get my bigger bow maker. So you guys, if you guys don't know, this is the Easy Bow Maker. They have this at the Wreath shop. It is amazing. But I'm going to make kind of really bigger bows, so I pulled this out. No, this is not from the Wreath shop. Sorry, sir, but I have to use this. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. We are going to dovetail this. Okay, and we are going to make this we're going to do this an 8-inch tail, okay? So there's going to be a couple different things on this bow. It's a little bit different, okay? And this is just going to be a tail. So we're going to make this tail... What are we going to make this tail? We're going to make this tail 20 inches. Yes, I said 20 inches. I did. I will. Absolutely. She may even hop on here a little bit later. So you guys, 8-inch, 20-inch. Okay? This is going to be a big one. We're going to dovetail this. Come bring this down. So on these bows, I like to make them staggered, okay? Meaning that my tails are not going to be the same size. So this is going to be 20 inch, this is going to be about 18. Now we're going to come in with this. Okay? So we are going to make this loop. Let's make it about 8 inches. Okay, just like with 2.5 or 1.5 inch ribbon, the most important thing is that when you make that twist is complete, okay? And we're coming over here. We're going to measure that out about 8 inches as well. Okay. And our tail is going to be about 1/2 inch. The way I do it is I see where the loop ends and about 1/2 inch past that. Okay. I will also tell you one of the most important things too, another really important thing is make sure you have sharp scissors. Okay. Don't try to use those scissors that your kids have been using. Don't use the scissors that your husband grabbed. Don't do it. Okay. So here we go. There is 4 inch. What size of wreath would you use to place a bow this big? This big, actually, if you're doing like one of those big bead grass, I usually make my wreaths on an 18-inch form, and they can be anywhere about 36 inches long, right, from tip to tip. And I would put this on there. Okay, now we're going to bring in. Once again, this is directional ribbon. Look at the little ghosties on there in the pumpkin. Okay, so we're going to start off at the top here. And we're doing a tail. Bring it in about 1/2 inch. Okay, come down here. Same thing, stagger it about 1/2 inch or so. So now we're going to start on the opposite. So the way that we're doing is the tail's on one side, and now when we start the loops, you're going to do it on the opposite side. Okay? And because this is directional ribbon, I am going to start at that top. Does not have to be perfect. Okay. Going to give that a little twist right there. And where our first loop there was an 8, we're going to make this a 7. Okay, we're going to come over here. Once again, same thing, 7. Now our tail is going to go down about 1/2 inch staggered from this other one. Just moving my tails around a little bit. Ooh. Now we're going to come in with this really pretty damask. Dovetail that. Once again, we're doing a tail, so the tail is on this side. We're just going to push that down. Make sure that it's completely upside down, right? Or, sorry, facing up. You want to make sure you can't see the back of that. That's one of the most, you want to make sure your bow is all nice. 1/2 inch. Now, I will tell you, a lot of times on these, I will make them at random lengths. I'm doing 1/2 inch right now, but sometimes I don't even measure that. Okay? So remember, we did our tail this side, so now we got to start on this side. And on this one, since it's not directional, you can start at the bottom. It does not matter. I'm going to dovetail that. Bring that up about 1/2 inch or so. Maybe even an inch. So now where we remember our first loop was an 8. This one is a 7. We're going to do these at a 6. So you have more tails and loops. Is that so? On this one you have yes. Sorry, it took me a second to read that. 7. We're going over here on 6. So each one of these loops is coming in an inch. 8, 7, 6, and that's because I'm only using 4 ribbons. Okay, and because it is a big bow. Okay, bring this up here. Now we're going to come in with this pretty black edge. I love solid ribbons that have edges of different colors. Huge fan of that. I wish they did them in a gazillion different colors. Okay, once again, we're going to do our tail, remember? Our tail is on this side. Our loops are on the opposite side. So about 1/2 inch or so. Sorry, pressed it down. Bring this down here. Now, I dovetail as I go. You can actually dovetail at the end. It is totally fine. But I am sometimes a scatterbrain with things, and I'm like, I'll always end up missing one. Do you always twist your ribbon towards you? I guess. I did not ever realize that. I think I do. It's like one of those things, right? When people are like, you did this. I did what? So once again, we're starting on the tail here. Make that you twist. Yes, I twisted towards me. I do. I do. And since this one was a 6, we're going to make this one a 5. I can't remember if somebody told me I did. There's something else I do that I had not even noticed before. It was funny. I was like, what? Now remember, this is one of the things you're going to realize after you've been doing this stuff for a while, okay? Everybody does things differently. So some things will make sense to your head. First of all, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as the result that you get at the end is what you want, right? Does it matter if you twist one way than the other? Nope. Nope. So this way may work for me, but maybe it doesn't work for somebody else. So it just kind of depends, right? It's how you see things, how your brain works. It's the same thing like with math. It's, you know, everybody does things differently. So we're coming in with this right here. So now I want my little ghosties in the center. So I'm going to come back with this one now. And sometimes it takes a little while to figure out what works for you. But whatever works for you, do that. Okay? Now, because this is directional ribbon, I am going to start at the top here. And this, I'm just making a bump. Okay? So, Barb, you said you had a problem, right? Okay. Go in here. You're going to twist. Now, you need to make sure that you twist it completely, meaning that this is you're going to be looking at all the upside down, and this is all the front of the ribbon, okay? It's one of the most important things. Twist, okay? A good twist. This is completely upside down. This is completely facing, right? You see the pattern. Now we're going to come in here. And this bump, because this is a bigger bow, we're going to make this bump at a 4. Push that down. And this tail is going to be, oh, let's make it there. Meaning it's 10, how much is that? About 12 inches. Oh, thank you. Okay, guys. And now you go, oh my gosh, are you really going to be able to lift that? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Okay. So let's grab a zip tie for this center. So let's actually use the brown one that I was going to use. Okay. Here we go. Now, I will tell you this. If you go to do this and you can't lift this up, you can't. Nothing wrong with that. All you will do is take, like this, a zip tie, and you will put it underneath. Make sure it goes all the way underneath. Okay? Bring it along the side there till you get all the way to the top, and then you can zip it there. Okay? There are times when I can't get this out. Then I do it that way. No big deal. Okay? So it just has a bump, and yes, tail on the top, tail on the bottom, and a bump. That's it. Okay? So if you can't lift this out, and don't lift it up, just put that zip tie there. Or I'll do it that way right now. Okay. Actually, I think I want the thicker zip tie. Since this is a pretty hardy bow. Okay. So we're going to just push the zip tie there. So my daughter does my nails, and sometimes I will tell you I can't grab stuff. That's okay. That's why I have this. I have needle nose. If you ever need to grab anything, just grab your needle nose. They'll help you. Okay? And all you're waiting for is you just want to hear the teeth. Ooh, hard the tooth. Once you hear it a little bit, you're good. Hey, Annette. Ooh. The other thing is, like, see this this twisted the wrong way? Grab your needle nose and twist it back before you even pull it out of here. Because you want to make sure that that ribbon is facing the correct way. You don't want that to be messed up. Okay, so we have our zip tie. That is holding it there, right? We're still going to push that up. I probably could have done it, but hey. Okay, but now it's got that zip tie, so now I don't have to worry about it. So now we're just going to push that to the center part. And once again, you're not going to be fighting it because of how you, right? Finger here, thumb on this side. Fingers on the bottom. Okay, so if you got to move it, you just move it. So we're going to push that to the back now. Now we're going to grab our other zip tie. Push that through. Yeah, I almost clobbered myself in the face with this zip tie. I'm like, get in there. Okay. Push that down. Tighten that a little bit more. Let's get this bad boy out of the way. Okay. We're going to move our tails. Yeah, so I'll show you, Barb. So one tail down, one tail up, and just a bump. That's it. Okay, so here we go. Woohoo! Okay, set it down. Go to the bottom here. Grab your first layer. Tail, grab your second layer. Remember, you're pulling it apart. That way you can see all your tails. I'm trying to not put it over here on glue. I have my glue pot over there. Next one. Next one. Now remember, we're not pulling it super hard because this is a very thick bow. So I want to make sure I don't dislodge something out of place. So we're being a little bit more gentle than usual. Bump, tail, bump, tail. Okay. Same thing here. Once again, this goes on the top. Okay, great. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to separate these so that you have, right? You see every one. Okay. There we are. Okay. Now we're going to go back. We're going to hold this up. Now we're going to get our needle nose again. Ooh, comments. Thank you. Now we're going to pull that. You heard that. I want to make sure that is snug. Okay? Give that a little trim. Now we can come in and put our hand here and make these little loops. Puffy. Look at that bow. Woohoo! 4-inch ribbon, long tails. Look at that. You can put that on a grapevine. Okay. Now, we can move our tails around a little bit so you see a little bit more of the orange, right? See? Now you see it more at the bottom. Thanks, Diane. There you go, you guys. Okay, let me show you what we made. I feel like we did it together. So there's this one. Our big one. I always like showing at least one big one, right? I mean, come on. Who does not want some beautiful, luscious bow like this? Okay. There's our big one. Thank you, Barb. Here is our fall. Super cute. The little tails down. Here is our side one. With just one tail down and tails up. And our first one. Orange and black. Look at that, you guys. Okay, you guys. Of course. Thanks for hanging on, you guys, and watching. Once again, all of these ribbons are at the Wreath shop. Go buy them. Okay, I'll be posting pictures. She'll probably be writing down which bow combinations if you guys want to, do the combos and stuff, but I'll also be posting over on my page. Once again, if you guys are not following the Wreath shop here, make sure you do so. Also, make sure you follow my page, The Red Rustic Rest. Okay, you guys, that is it for tonight. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next week, probably Tuesday, as usual. Okay, you guys, see you guys later. Bye, guys.